This is a story about twin sisters, their husbands,
My hug.
a cup and a syringe.
So your husband's having a baby with your sister and your kids are going to be cousins, yet half siblings? I mean, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's a story about a gift of love between sisters, one that's created a rather confusing family tree. They can laugh now, but the gift was the result of a tragic loss.
Oh, I think that one's tangled.
Last December, Sarah's daughter Bella should have turned 1.
I thought we could sort of sing happy birthday to Bella before we sort of let our balloons go.
Happy birthday to you.
But Bella died on the day she was born.
Happy birthday to you.
Ready to go. I did everything right in the pregnancy, really enjoyed it, and we ended up losing her.
A dream pregnancy turned into a medical nightmare when Sarah suffered severe complications that hospital staff didn't pick up in time.
The next thing I know, I wake up in recovery. And aunts told me that she didn't make it. I didn't believe him at first. I said, "You're lying." He said, "No." And then he went on to tell me that my uterus had ruptured and that I needed a hysterectomy as well.
She lost her daughter and the chance to have another baby.
After having a baby, it's supposed to be a happy time. You're not meant to be planning their funeral. And it was just really, really hard.
And Amy, when did you first think, I can help?
Honestly, it was a couple of days after Bella had passed away, and I just knew in the back of my head that this was going to happen, that there was going to be another baby. Not a replacement, but another baby. And yeah, so I approached her very sensitively as I could, and I just offered her my uterus.
Even as children growing up, Amy and Sarah dreamed of having families of their own.
Are you going to get married too?
That's Sarah under the blanket pretending to be a bride.
Smile.
With Amy as her flower girl.
We'd always say, oh, you know, when I grow up I'm going to marry this sort of man and have this many children, and, you know, as kids do. And yeah, there was some times where we would sort of say, oh, you know, if you can't have children, then I'll have them for you.
We actually used to say that quite a bit.
Yeah.
20 years on, and Sarah did get married to Lance. And they have a daughter, Holly. While Amy's Prince Charming was Terry. But for Amy, falling pregnant was no fairy tale.
It just didn't happen, and it took 5 years, and we ended up going through IVF. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was daunting. It was like emotionally taxing. Yeah. It felt like it was never going to happen. Yeah.
And at the same time, you look at your sister and she has Holly.
Yeah. She was like the fertile myrtle.
And you?
Out of jealousy. And me, I had nothing. She had everything that I wanted.
And what was that time like for you guys?
It was rough because
Yeah.
she didn't take me being pregnant very well. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to cry. Yeah. So it's sort of put a big strain on our relationship.
After 5 years, 2 miscarriages and IVF, Amy and Terry finally had a son, Hunter. They planned to try again, but when Sarah lost her baby, Amy did for her sister what she knew Sarah would do for her.
I wanted to see her happy again, and completing my family it was no longer a priority, you know, because Bella was supposed to be the next baby, and it just didn't feel right with me bringing another baby in, so I just wanted to, complete Sarah's family before I completed my own.
Sarah's hysterectomy meant she couldn't carry any more children, but she could produce eggs. So at first they were going to try IVF, implanting one of Sarah's fertilised eggs into Amy's womb. But then Sarah had a thought.
One night I was sitting on the couch and I was just looked at Lance and I said, why are we doing this? Why don't we just see if Amy will let us use her egg, one of her eggs? And I said, we're identical twin sisters, you know, 99.9% the same genes, so why are we going through all this hassle?
And the answer was?
It was like, okay.
But that would mean it would be Amy's biological child.
Did it ever occur to you that you might bond with this child and that you wouldn't be able to give it up?
No. There was no difficulty at all, because right from the start, like, I knew, well, how and why that child was conceived. It was never meant to be mine.
With IVF ruled out, this baby was to become a DIY project.
So please explain the syringe.
Yeah, it was just a syringe, a $2 syringe from the chemist.
Yeah, 10 mil, wasn't it?
Yeah,
10 mil.
10 mil
Bigger, longer.
It became known as Camp Conception. Sarah and Lance stayed with Amy and Terry so that Lance's sperm could meet Amy's egg.
Sorry to be basic about this, but what in fact did you force Lance to do?
He had to go into the bathroom and
Off in a jar.
entertain himself. Entertain himself for about, I'll say 10 minutes. I'll say 10 minutes.
As always, the boys have their own take on things.
I think the first time me and Terry sat down, had a few beers, and then we were all watching TV, and then Amy decided, had her shower or whatever, and went up to bed, and that's when I got the nod to go ahead and do the deed.
And when you say the nod,
There was a cup, and I think everyone can figure the rest out.
It was a foursome, but not in the usual sense of the word.
and this is where it all took place.
Yes.
So normally you hear of people maybe needing a pile of magazines for this kind of
Yeah.
thing. Was there any assistance required?
No, funnily enough, he didn't need any assistance, so maybe he
Okay.
just thought of me.
Aww. See, still romantic,
Yeah.
even though we're at the bare basics.
Yes.
Were you feeling the pressure, Lance, at all?
Not really. Been doing it for a while, so a bit experienced in it.
While Amy was most fertile, Sarah was Lance and Amy's go-between.
He would call out to me and say, "I'm done," and I would go into the bathroom and with the syringe and suck it up with the syringe and get it ready for Amy and just casually walk upstairs past Terry with his jokes.
This would go on for 3 days, morning and night.
Okay, so Sarah came in with the delivery, hands it over.
And yeah, I just did my business.
So you did ask her to turn away, you wanted a wee bit of privacy.
Her back was turned,
Ears blocked.
ears blocked, eyes closed. Turn all your senses off.
So I have to ask, was there any thought of leaving the syringe and cup behind and just doing the act?
No. No way. Yeah, it was the syringe or nothing.
And in all honesty, Amy, did you actually think you would fall pregnant?
I thought there's no way. Took me 5 years and IVF to conceive Hunter, and I thought this is not going to happen.
With a history of endometriosis, Amy actually had less than a 15% chance of conceiving this way. Even so, she decided to take an early pregnancy test.
I couldn't watch, so I went into the room and Sarah stayed in the bathroom, and she all of a sudden said, "I think there's a line coming up." And I was just like, whatever, you know, wishful thinking. She's like, no, really, there's a line coming up. And sure enough, there was the 2 pink lines, and we were just like, we're pregnant!
Coming up, good luck. The baby is on its way.
Almost ready.
But does everything go according to plan? It all began with a cup and syringe, so it's no surprise that Amy and Sarah nicknamed their baby Squirt. But was it a he or a she?
So just lie yourself down there. This is one of the baby's legs here. This is the other. And just in between here we have a little scrotum.
So it's a boy.
Yay, Squirt's a boy.
So this is all meant for a rather complicated family tree, because your husband has had a baby with your sister and your kids are going to be cousins, yet half siblings. I mean, it's confusing.
Yeah.
It is confusing.
Yeah.
How do you explain it?
Well, to us, they're not step brothers or sisters. They're solely just cousins, and they just happen, well, Squirt just happens to be growing in Auntie's tummy.
As twins, Amy and Sarah are used to doing things together.
Isn't it nice?
And having this baby is no different.
So what date's baby due?
But in this shared pregnancy,
It's a boy.
ultimately, Amy will have to hand the baby over. Sarah, I do have to ask, have there been any moments when you've thought, I'm not sure Amy's going to be able to go through with this?
No, not for one moment. I just know that she would never put Lance and I through that.
Amy's sure about her decision, even knowing there's no guarantee she'll be able to have another baby with her own husband.
I just couldn't do that to someone, or my sister. Yeah, and she's already lost one baby. How could someone take another one from her?
Should we put them in this drawer?
With just weeks to go, Sarah and Holly add the finishing touches to Squirt's room.
Here's another one to fold. This is easy.
Everything is sorted.
Good girl.
Even his proper name, Bennett.
Heartbeat in there.
And with Squirt growing at a good rate,
So we're saying about 2.6 kgs now, which is what we'd expect.
everything's on target for Amy's elective C-section.
So here we are here. See you next week. See you, baby.
So how are you feeling about April 5th?
Excited, yeah.
Nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what he looks like.
Yeah.
And to see if he looks like Holly and Bella.
Bella is never far from Sarah's thoughts.
We are.
And today she's doing something in her name.
I want to see every minute of this.
She's shaving for a cure.
Butterflies in the
Yes.
That took no time at all. Why did you do it?
Well, I did it in honour of Bella because she taught me that life is too short and you just should live for every moment and do things that scare you sometimes.
And now though, all of your first photos with Squirt, you're going to be sporting this lid. How do you think that's going to go?
It's probably going to be a lot of explaining when he's older as to why I had such short hair.
And Squirt's going to see his mum's short hair sooner than she expected. Okay, we've been called to the hospital early. Squirt is coming, so we're racing to the hospital to get there for the birth. Hi guys. Well, this is unexpected.
I know.
Oh, come over, Sarah. Tell us everything.
Well, this morning things started chugging along.
Really?
Yeah, I was a bit crampy. Woke up, I was like, oh, this feels a bit different.
And how are you feeling? First of all, how are you feeling? Amy?
Actually, quite good. Yeah, a bit like shocked that it's like, oh, you're having a baby tonight. Okay.
And it'll be in like a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's like okay.
It's time to go. Only Sarah is allowed into the theatre with Amy, and she'll be recording the moment for everyone. How are those nerves?
Well, if you see the camera shaking, then you'll know. I was nervous.
And now we wait.
Hi, Amy. Hi. How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Even Dad Lance has to wait outside.
You're in a tent.
It's only what he said.
Almost ready. Very nervous, but we'll have a baby any minute now.
Behind the sheets, a few more tugs.
Jesus.
And then... He's perfect. The last 16 months have been tough for Sarah, tested her, but finally she's a mum again.
He looks like Holly Mandela.
Oh, really?
He's here and he's well and
Lance is taken through to meet his son.
he's so cute, eh?
Now the moments, the memories that will stay with this mum and dad forever.
First bottle.
Is that yummy?
When it's time for a cuddle with Amy, it's clear she's happy with just being auntie. No doubt, no regret.
It's great knowing that I can have a baby and just hand it to mum.
Can you remember seeing Sarah's face when she first saw Squirt?
Yeah, she was just instant tears. And then she said to me, I'm crying. Really?
This baby, conceived with a $2 syringe, couldn't be more wanted or more loved.
I'm just so stoked that he's here and I'm his mum.
He's a precious gift from one sister to another. And a family is now complete.